That transfer portal just never stops. It just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling. You can exit the transfer portal at any time. Isaiah Hull of Locked On Wolverines knows that because there's a new quarterback in the Michigan room here in the middle of June, which is just the way everybody drew it up, of course. So Jake Garcia, a bit of a journeyman, if ever there was one in college football, Isaiah, is going from East Carolina to Michigan. That's, I think, a mild upgrade in perhaps a few areas college-wise. No disrespect to the Pirates. Perfectly good school, but Big Ten American, one's a little bit of a jump up. What I'm curious about is why. Why does Michigan want to bring any quarterback into the room, especially one like Garcia, who's a veteran-ish? He's played a decent amount, but not a ton. The numbers haven't been super great. What exactly do you think is going on here?
What, you don't think it's a good idea to bring in a quarterback who lost his job to the same quarterback that you beat 49-0 2 years ago, and the rival Catton Hauser, who ended up transferring from MSU to East Carolina? You don't think it's a good idea?
Well, I'm just wondering what the thinking is. That's all. That's all.
Well, it turns out that Bucknuts 420 and Sparty fan 69, they were right. It's because Bryce is super overweight. They don't have any kind of Michigan's given up on him already. That's their theory, and they're right. So it's not at all, because they just have no depth at all at quarterback, and they recognized that in spring ball when Mikey Keene was injured. Because when Mikey Keene was injured and wasn't able to, they brought him in thinking like, all right, maybe we can do a Kelly Bryant, Trevor Lawrence situation. We can try to, get Mikey Keene to start. We can bring in Bryce Underwood here in spells, get him ready, and then like game 5, game 6, he can start and be ready to go. Mikey Keene being injured all spring, I think, didn't help that, right? Like it was, they obviously also wanted him to compete with Bryce, so it isn't just like, keys are yours, man. You have nothing to worry about. Just go ahead and do whatever you're going to do. They wanted to make sure that he was on point. So, but I think that once you had the Keene injury, number one, and then the fact that Davis Warren, he tore his ACL in the bowl game, so he's not going to be ready till maybe like October, November. Number two. And then you lost Alex Orji and Jaden Denegal to the transfer portal, 3. So otherwise, like if Bryce Underwood got injured, considering Mikey Keene, we're already kind of considering him injured, right? Bryce Underwood gets injured, you're relying with either Jaden Davis, who didn't really look playable in the spring game, or Chase Herbstreit, fellow true freshman who arrives this summer, son of Kirk Herbstreit. Those are your options without Jake Garcia. So I think that they looked at it and said, yeah, we kind of got to do something, because our quarterback room has basically nobody, right? Like that was the spring game was Bryce Underwood versus Jaden Davis out of necessity, because those were the only 2 quarterbacks that were healthy on the entire roster. So you look at it and you say, yeah, we've got to figure out who we're going to bring in. Now, Garcia hasn't had a very good career thus far, obviously. He was a former 4-star, ranked in like around 100 when he went originally to Miami back in '06. Before I think he took because he's from the West Coast originally. I think he took a covered wagon to Coral Gables. So he's been around for a minute, but he
is originally class of 2021 and enrolled at Miami. Was a top 10 quarterback in the class of 2021. The 24/7 composite had him as a top 50 player nationally. So it's not as if there isn't something there that just clearly hasn't been unlocked. The previous Miami staff wasn't horrible, wasn't great. I don't know the situation off the top of my head. I'm ashamed to say it as a national college football host. I don't have East Carolina football burned into my brain and everything that's gone on with the Pirates recently. It's not.
Don't forget about Missouri. He was at Missouri as well.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Of course. The quick pit stop there in Columbia. So a couple of things. I don't know what's crazier, that a quarterback left the portal and went to a legitimate Power 4 school in the middle of June, or that Kirk Herbstreit's son is actually a Michigan Wolverine. I'm balancing back and forth, one the other. I'm kind of leaning Herbstreit here, but
Herbstreit was at the spring game. I took a picture of him on the sideline, and it's the amount of vitriol. Like it's funny how I know this is Locked On College Football, not Locked On Wolverines, but the amount of vitriol that the Buckeyes had for the fact that his son is on the Michigan Wolverines, and the fact that he was at the spring game as an observer. Like it was, yeah. No, you guys are normal. You're absolutely normal. The fact that you buried this man the way you have.
Well, I can't wait for the next big storyline where Nick Saban's grandkid winds up a quarterback at Auburn, and Saban's there rocking War Eagle at the Auburn spring game one day. Last thing here on Garcia, where do you think he fits into the depth chart? Is he the clear-cut backup? Because I always describe, and I'm not the first to do so, backup quarterbacks are any type of insurance you have in your personal life. You never think about it. You never worry about it until it's the most important thing in your life. And you must have, and Michigan fans know that very well, that you need to have a solid backup quarterback situation or things can go awry a bit. What are the chances you think Garcia plays with regards to the Bryce Underwood leash, or God forbid, an injury as well?
I think that in an ideal scenario, he's probably running third or fourth, to be honest. But I would guess at the outset of the season, assuming everyone's healthy, he's probably going to be running third. Also, keep in mind that the only quarterback on the entire roster that has any kind of experience that is going to be thought to be ready in week one would be Mikey Keene outside of Jake Garcia, because Jaden Davis has handed the ball off in one game. Bryce Underwood's never played a college game. And like I said, Davis Warren's not going to be available until mid to late season. So they just have no experience. So I think, though, it would probably go a pecking order if I was to write it up now. Assuming Mikey Keene's healthy, it would probably go Bryce Underwood, Mikey Keene, then Jake Garcia, then Jaden Davis, and then Chase Herbstreit. That would be how I think it would probably go at this juncture. But you could kind of interchange Garcia and Jaden Davis in my eyes between third and fourth. Now, if Keene isn't fully healthy and isn't ready to go, then yeah, he does probably vault up to being that number two guy. No offense to Jaden Davis, but like he just did not look playable in the spring game. It just did not look like for all the questions that we had kind of late season last year in the Michigan media about like, as bad as the quarterback situation has been, why have you not played Jaden Davis? Then we saw the spring game and you're like, that's why. So I think that Garcia is probably running ahead of him. He's got a bit more experience. At least they feel like Chip Lindsey can get something out of him if they need to. But maybe that's the case. I looked at the games he played in. It's not like even at like Miami didn't really play much. East Carolina, he had 6 games really, and it was kind of like, you really struggled against Eastern Tennessee Community State University College. You struggled against them. That's
not great, Bob.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the team, man. I guess.
Yeah, I think for Sharon Moore, he has to, at some level, look at this quarterback room and think, all right, guys, get ready to learn 26 power.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of it anyway, right? Like, it's just
that's true.
Like, they'll just wrap Bryce Underwood in bubble wrap and then just be like, all right, we're going to keep you here in this bubble wrap for every third play. We'll take it off so that you can throw. And then otherwise, we're just going to keep you in bubble wrap because they want to run the football anyway. So I guess that probably bodes well. And then when he takes off running, they'll probably hear a lot of shrieking from the Michigan sideline with a just in case feeling.